Welcome to Asana Solutions. My name is Marquis, and you've landed on the #1 channel on YouTube for all things related to Asana, process improvement, and project management. If you are brand new to Asana, or you are searching and evaluating the tool and comparing it to Monday or Trello or ClickUp or Teamwork, then this is the video for you. This is our 101 training. We're going over Asana basics, everything from how to get started to how to organize your work to what Asana looks like so that you can make the best decision for your company, or take a crash course and get yourself up to speed as quickly as possible. It is a bit long, but I would recommend that you send this training along to someone else in your company if you think that anyone could benefit from this. If you are all evaluating the tool and you want to see what does it really look like behind the scenes, what are we able to do and what are the different functionalities, then I'm so glad that you found this video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification button, the little bell down there, so that you can get notified on new videos, and make sure you like and share this with someone else, again, who you think would get value from it. So that's it. Let's jump in. Hope you find it helpful. All right, you are watching Getting Started with Asana. This is Asana 101 for beginners. So if you're watching this, it's because you're either new to the tool or you're evaluating the tool and you're trying to figure out if this is the best move for your team or your company. Maybe you're looking at Monday or ClickUp or something else. I'm going to show you the basics today as clear and concise as I possibly can so you can make the best decision for your company. So if we just jump in here, I'm going to be flipping back and forth between this screen or this presentation, and Asana to show you stuff, kind of from a theory perspective, and then I want to show you it practically within the tool. And so Asana does three things. It helps to capture work inside of projects and tasks. So these are tasks or projects that you yourself have to complete or you need to complete with a team. It also helps you to organize all of your tasks through a view called My Tasks. This is everything that's assigned to you, that's on your plate right now that you need to get done at some point in time. And then there's tracking the status of work and communications within our Asana inbox. This is not to be confused with your mail inbox. This is your Asana inbox where you're getting status updates on everything related to the Asana tasks and projects that you're following. So just to give you an overview of what Asana looks like before we actually get in there and take a look at it, it's broken down into these different tiers or these different levels. At the top here, we have the organization. This is your company. So for me, I work at Ditto, and our company domain is thinkditto.com. So our organization is Think Ditto. On the business plan or the enterprise plan, you can change your name from just the domain to whatever you want it to. So ours is called Ditto, but that is where everything happens. And then we break down our organization into teams. Our teams in this case, depending on how you're using it, could be a client. It could be an actual team, like a department that's working on specific projects, but I'll show you what that looks like. And then within your teams, you can have projects. All right. So your projects could be building a new website, or putting together a logo, or planning an event, or moving buildings, or installing a new database. And so all of these things could be projects, because within your projects you have lists of tasks. Okay, and I'll show you the different views when we get to Asana as well, but just remember, within your projects you have your tasks. And then within your tasks, you can drill down to subtasks that are, as you can see, connected to the task. And you can also engage in work via the comments as well. So again, organization, then we look at teams, projects, tasks, and subtasks and comments. So just to take it a step further, if we take a look at this arrow on the side here, the tasks that are more to the top, or the structure that's more at the top, is things that you're going to do once, right? You're going to set up your organization once. You're going to set up your domain once. Okay. And then you're going to invite people to it. As you move down the structure, these get more into like the day-to-day things here. So as needed, you would create teams. And again, teams are groups of people that are all working towards, a similar end goal. And then your projects, these are large efforts. So if you have anything that's more than, 10 things that you have on a to-do list, you would create a project for it and include those people. And then tasks are those smaller steps needed to complete the project. And then subtasks help you to break down your parent tasks into even smaller and actionable steps. So I'm going to switch over to Asana now, but you can see kind of high level what we're going to be looking at here. There is your dashboard that you're going to see where it shows everything that you have access to. And on the left-hand side here, this is where we have our teams and this is our working space. So let's switch over to Asana so we can see it in real life here. So again, we have our dashboard right here. So at the top, we have our home, which is a collection of whatever you really want to look at. This lets you know what's happening in your week, what's happening in your month, how many tasks you've completed, how many collaborators you're working with, and you can set your priorities here as well. So before we get too into this, just understand that this view is a set of modules that allows you to see and group information from different places inside of Asana. But let's just back up a second here. So the next thing we have is My Tasks, which again is your list of everything that's on your plate that you need to complete. It is, in most cases, they're connected to other projects. You can assign your own due dates here, but these are typically the things that you have to complete at some point in the future. Then we have our inbox, which again is not to be mistaken with your email inbox. This is your Asana inbox where you are being notified on the status and the updates of all tasks that you are either a collaborator of, and we'll get there in a second, or you are mentioned in if there is some communication happening in the comments and you are notified if there's a file that's uploaded. You're going to get all that information right here. And what's nice is you can quickly go through this and archive these notifications, right? I like the shortcut E. I can just get through them really quickly. Or you can, create follow-up tasks for these as well. And so it's really nice. You can do quite a bit with this here. And then we get into our reporting. So reporting is an advanced function that we will not cover in this video, but this allows you to group data through projects across the entire organization and all the teams. Then we have our portfolios, which is really just a fancy word in Asana for folders. Within our portfolio, you can group together other portfolios. You can group together other similar projects so that you can get a view on a timeline. You can get views on progress, or you can see the workload and capacity of your team across all of those projects as well. Again, portfolios will not be covered in this video. That will be for another video. And then we have goals as well. So at the high company level, we can see all the goals we're working towards as a team. We can see the sub goals and how it connects to the rest of the organization and the projects within. And we can set different metrics to make sure that we can track our success. And so that is the dashboard section. This can close up like that really easily if you don't want to look at it. And then we move into our structure. So again, we discussed the organization, which is everything you see here in front of you. And it's broken down into teams. So in this case, we have a staff team, we have a sales team, we have a product engineering team, we have a marketing North America team, and so on and so on. And then if we click on any of these teams, we can just drop down like this to see the projects, or we can click on the main team view here. So we click on the main team view, it shows all the members that are in this team. We can add other team members here as well and invite them to a specific project within it. And now they're on this team. We can see all of our projects related. So this is company-wide goals. We have an internal library here. We have Delta Overfly, and so on and so on. So if we did click on the internal library as an example, now we can see the specific tasks within. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start up a project from scratch. We're gonna navigate to our staff team here. We're gonna click on the little plus sign, and we're going to create a blank project. It is important to note that Asana has a plethora of already populated templates no matter what department or function you are looking for. So if we want to look at all use cases, we can see what Asana has already created for us, right? There are already lots of templates here that we can pull in that already have workflows created for us. If we are doing any kind of work requests, this can really get us started. We have meeting agenda templates, stand-up meeting templates. If you are, in dev, there are ticket tracking templates here, creative requests. There's so much here to be explored. But in this case, we're actually just going to start our own and create our own new project. So we can click on here and again, create a blank project, or at any place you're at in Asana, you can click on this orange plus button up here to create a project and click on blank project. So we're going to name this Asana Demo. There we go. And now is the first time that you're seeing really what you can do with Asana and what, flexibility there is that can be offered through using Asana. So we can change the team that this project lives in. Remember, we started in the staff team, but if we made a mistake, we want to switch it, we can put it in the sales team like so. Then we can update our privacy. We can make it public to everyone in the team, meaning everyone that we saw in that main team view, they will be able to see this project. Okay, so if it's something a bit more sensitive like employee information, different records, or finances that you don't want specific people to see, we can just click on private to project members, and then we can invite the people that we want to take part in this project with us. So the 4 default views within Asana are list, board, timeline, and calendar. So the list view, it's exactly what you see here. If we clicked on board view, you get a really nice sample of what this could look like. The timeline is a simple Gantt chart with dependencies that you can draw between tasks, and you can move them as well as assign milestones across these different tasks. And then there's the calendar view. All right. So to get us started, I'm actually just gonna start with a list view. It's the simplest one. Don't worry, you can change it later. It's not an issue. And then you can do a couple of things here. We can get started by setting up a workflow, which will not be covered in this video, or maybe it will. We'll see. If we have time, we can share it with specific team members here, but we're just going to start adding our tasks. All right, so it's going to load up. Again, we created a blank project here. I'm going to close this up so that we're not distracted with anything, and we just have a blank slate. All right. The first thing we want to do is you can simply click on add task, pick up laundry. That's not how you spell laundry. Just like so, we can simply add our task list, get milk, whatever it is, finish reading chapter 7, whatever you want to put here, you can put here. But, what we want to do is if we ever get to a point where we want to start categorizing or organizing our project, like it's a bit, messy, right? This could be call Ryan, and this can be submit payroll. Again, these are all arbitrary. There's no rhyme or reason, but we're clearly grouping in things that are personal, with the pick up laundry, get milk, finish reading chapter 7, call Ryan, submit payroll. So what we can do within a project is not only list things out, but we can create sections within these projects to better categorize and organize our tasks within. Now, of course, this is just an example. There would never be a project in Asana where you're mixing personal and work stuff, but I just want to show you some of the flexibility here, because as we know, our project is a grouping of all the related tasks, okay? And as we click off and complete those tasks, we complete the project. So the first one the first section I'm gonna create here, and you can do that by clicking on this little drop down and pressing add section, or the quick key is tab plus N to create a new one. All right, so let's do this. We're gonna open this up and we're gonna call this home. And we're gonna double click on here to change this title. We're gonna call this work. And then we're gonna double click on this one to change it to school. Now we can simply click and drag. This does work like a Word document. So if I was here, I press enter, new task. I can exit or backspace like so to remove it. Or I can press tab, delete to delete it as well. But I'm going to select what I feel to be the home task. So pick up laundry and get milk. I'm holding down shift and I'm clicking to highlight multiple tasks at a time. So I'm going to click on the left-hand side here, and it's dragging, the dragon is dragging the task to our home section. If you like that, you're going to love this stuff. Tab B, I should have saved that for later, but Tab B does exactly what it says. It puts tabbies on your screen, and Tab V, if you're a dog lover instead, which I am, it puts a bunch of cute puppies on your screen. If you click, it just gets rid of them. But anyways, so finish reading chapter 7. That could be something for school. And then call Ryan and submit payroll. Maybe those are work related. So now we have these different sections. And if we change to a different view, well, guess what happens? Those section names become our board or our card titles. And then we can organize them that way. We can also put these on a timeline, like I said, and we can see them that way as well. But we don't have any tasks assigned just yet. Just want to show you that you can easily switch between the different views. And if you did want to, have this board as your default view, on the right hand side, you can click on these 3 dots and you can save layout as default. So no matter what happens, if I'm in calendar and I just refresh here quickly, it's gonna come back to our board view. That didn't work. If anyone were to come in, or we navigated away from this for whatever reason and we came back in, let's just do that quickly. There we go. And let's go back to our Asana demo. I'm gonna search that. There we go. It automatically brings us back to our board view as the default view. All right. So let's go back to list for a minute here so we can take a look at the task detail view. If we click on, this section right here to the right of our text, it's going to open up what is our task detail view. This is the name of the task or the title of the task. We can add our assignees here. Okay. As you can see, it's highlighting and it's showing me that for every action, there's a short key. As quickly as you can, learn the short keys. They're incredible. So if I go Tab A, right, I can assign it to somebody on my team. A quick one that I really like is Tab M, and it automatically assigns it to yourself, to me, right? Tab M is a good one. And then Tab D is how you can add a due date to it as well. So you can change the due date. What's nice is you can have a start date, okay, by clicking on here. So I'm gonna say this is our start date of the project and our end date of the project. So we have now duration of that 31 days of the month. We can see that it's assigned to this one project here, and it's in the home section that corresponds with this section over here. If this was in the wrong spot and we wanted to move it, again, we can simply click and drag and the dragon will drag it, or we can click on this drop down here and move it to another section and it gets updated there in real time. Dependencies, we're not going to look at that just yet. It is pretty straightforward, but if you did have another task, let's say that in order for me to be able to pick up the laundry, I needed to call Ryan first. Okay, so maybe this is a home thing. Let's put that up there. We would do this. The simplest way is to come into pick up laundry, add dependency, okay? And right now it's blocked by is selected. You can switch this so that this task would block something else. But in this case, it's gonna be blocked by, and I'm gonna find my task. So there it is right there. Okay, so what's gonna happen? You're gonna see this little hourglass pop up. So now this task cannot be completed until its dependency call Ryan is completed. And as you can see, this call Ryan task is blocking pick up laundry. I need to call Ryan to maybe confirm that the laundry is ready. So let's just put in those details. Call Ryan to make sure that the laundry is ready. There we go. I'm going to assign this to myself and I'm going to make it due today, right? I would pick up the phone. I would call Ryan. Ryan would say, yep, it's ready. And I would say this, called Ryan. The laundry is ready to be picked up. And I'm going to press Command and Enter on my Mac to add a comment. What's nice is this works like any other tool or any social. You can mention people. You can add some rich text formatting here. We can add appreciations in this as well. So great. Thanks for doing that. I'm so happy. Look how happy I am. I'm as happy as a narwhal with a green, whatever that's called, horn on its head. So we can add things like that. We can add attachments at this level as well. We can connect it directly to our Google Drive, Dropbox, Box, or our OneDrive. And we can update or upload any information that we want to it as well. We can add emojis in this spot. And again, if we type @ we can just mention people right there. This is ready for you to go pick up, right? And then great. So now let's say that this is, who did I assign that to? Julio Martin. Let's see. There we go. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to complete this task just like that. And you're going to see that this hourglass has disappeared, and now it's ready for Julio to actually work on. And what's really cool is that in Julio's My Tasks, he got a notification that said, hey, this is ready. It's unblocked. You can go now and work on this task. So that's what the task detail looks like. I'm just going to show you these up here. You know, we can like the status of a task. We can add attachments here. We can, you know, copy a link to this task if we want to bring someone's attention back to it. Let's say there's a conversation happening in Slack. We want to reference it here. We can bring it back here. We can add subtasks, right? So before Julio goes to pick up this laundry, maybe he has to go get a new suit bag, right? And if we wanted to, we could make that dependent. Make the picking up laundry dependent on getting the suit bag first. And we can do that by just clicking into this subtask. So now we can see we're in a subtask, okay? We know we're in a subtask because we can see a highlighted parent task above. That doesn't happen at the top level. It's only when we're in a subtask that we can see that there's a parent task above it that we can click back to, okay? We can also see that we're in a subtask because if I go back to my list view here, I can click down on this little arrow and it's now showing me all the subtasks that I have right there. So now I can come in and I can create another subtask right there, and it's added it to our subtask list. Or I can do it here as well. And we can also assign these. So again, tab M, I'm going to assign it to me. Tab D, going to be for today, and so on and so on. All right. So that's what the task detail view looks like. There are some little handy things here. If you have this enabled in your Asana, you can record videos directly to here. If you were to do any screen sharing or anything of that effect, let's allow it. All right, let's start recording and sure. So now it's gonna count us down, our 3, 2, 1, and our video is recording. This is connected to Vimeo. You can start up a free Vimeo account for your team, and all your videos, if you don't already have a video documentation platform, we use Loom at Ditto, but you know, you have it right in here as well, and then it's going to upload and go back to Vimeo for you. So let's just see where we're at inside of this. That pretty much covers everything on this slide right here. Let's keep on going. We covered the inbox. Yes, we did. Let's talk about multi-homing, and that will be, I think, where we'll cut it for today. So multi-homing is a really cool feature within Asana that allows different people across different teams that are not specifically working on a task to gain visibility on the status of that task. Okay, let me say that again in different terms. You can have one version of a task split between many different projects, and all the activity, all the updates that happen in that task are now visible across all the projects it's connected to, or is now multi-homed to, so that people that are in a project that didn't have access in, say, the original project can now see what's happening on that task in real time. So just a quick refresher, we have our organization at the top, we have our teams, and then when we get down to our projects, you see what's happening here is we can have projects with tasks, and then we have our subtasks and our comments, or we can multi-home to a new space. This can be multi-homed, and we can have a shared task that again is connected to two different projects. If you're following my mouse, you can see that there. So this is what it looks like. We have this one task right here. It's called create brand assets. Okay. It started in the requests for creative production. Okay, so there it is up there. It's the highlighted task. Okay, and then it was multi-home to the seasonal marketing campaign. There it is right here. So in the first project, they're seeing it in the board view. The second project, they're seeing it in the timeline view or the Gantt view. And if we click one more time, it's now being shared to the web development sprint board right down here. So different projects, different functions, but they're all gaining visibility on the exact same task. There's no duplications. There's no what's happening with that task, or there's no versioning that you have to be, thinking about. It all originates from the one space. And so if we go over to Asana now, we can click on pick up laundry. Let's say that there was another team that also needed to be informed on the status of this laundry run, right? We can come over here, we can click on projects like so, and we can add it to request for creative production. So now, and let's see what section it's in. Let's put it in progress, because picking up laundry is in progress or active. And now the people on that team can see exactly what's happening. So if we did click on this request for creative, there it is right there. It's in progress, it's active. This can just be used as an FYI, just to inform people, or it can be used to say, hey, we're kicking the ball over to you guys. You pick it up, let us know when it's done, and then we can keep all communication happens here. There we go. Just another thing quickly that I'll show you while we're here is, let's go back to my tasks. So again, within our my task view, I'm just going to take a bit more time to go through this. This is everything that's assigned to us across different projects. What's nice is that we can change the sections just like we did in our project view. We can delete these sections and I'll keep the tasks within, but we can come up here, we can add a new section. So I'm going to call this one today. And then I'm going to press Tab N to create one for tomorrow. And then I'm going to create another one called overdue. Okay. This is going to be a bit of advanced Asana as it pertains to rules, but I'm going to give you a crash course in rules really quickly before we bring this section to a close. So task 1 is right here. Task 2, task 3. All right. So I'm going to assign this one a due date of today. This one is tomorrow. And then this one right here, it was due on the 16th, a couple of weeks ago. What you now have the ability to do inside of My Tasks, let's close that up, is create rules that automate the progress or the activity of your tasks within this view. Again, this view is private to you. No one else can see this unless you want to share it with someone. If you have a team member or someone who's assisting you and you want to share it with them, you can add them in here, right? And now this person has been invited to see your personal My Tasks, and they can actually see these private tasks and work through them with you. But what I want to show you here is your customized section. So we have the ability to add tags. We can show the projects or turn them off or due dates, but I want to add some rules now. So there are two ways you can add rules. You can add them by going to the customized section and clicking on add rule, or you can click on the little 3 dots at the head of the section and click on add rule to section. Okay. Just as a quick getting started, There's lots of already pre-populated rules for you. There are lots more in the project view, but for my tasks, we can create them here. So if you're new to Asana, this is what we want to do today. So the due date is approaching, move task to certain section. So the due date is approaching and it's due today. I want to move it to a certain section today. Perfect. So we're going to see a little lightning bolt pop up. That lets us know that there is a rule associated with that. Okay. I'm going to create another rule. I'm going to create one in tomorrow. I'm going to click on here, add a rule to section, move. And so again, we have triggers and we have actions. So the trigger is task moved to section tomorrow. That's not what we want. We want this to do its own thing. So the trigger is going to be a due date trigger. So new date is set. Okay, there we go. If the new date is set, the action is going to be set due date for 1 day in the future. There we go. And we're going to create that rule. So now for anything that happens tomorrow, that is going to show up there. Now let's do one more rule here. I'm going to create a custom rule that says when the due date is approaching, let's go back for a second. When the due date or the task is overdue, so it's 1 day after, okay, that is the trigger. What do we want it to do? We want it to move to the section overdue. There we go. And actually, I'm going to come back to my tomorrow rule because I did that one wrong. I realized. Let us come back in here. I'm going to delete this rule and I'm going to just create a custom one. Okay, so our trigger is going to be due date is approaching instead. So anything that's due 1 day before, right? So essentially tomorrow, I want to move it to this section tomorrow, just like so. So now we have rules on each of these and it won't happen instantaneously. It'll happen after you create the rule. So tomorrow, when you show up, anything that's overdue will automatically get added here. Any tasks that are tomorrow will automatically get put here. And then again, today will be right there. One thing that I do like to do is create another rule, okay, that, let's just see what this one says. Yeah, I'm going to add another rule that says any new tasks, anything that's added to my tasks is going to get moved to the section recently assigned. This allows me to keep like an inbox, so to speak, so I can triage any tasks that come in. If I want to set any priorities, they're already going to be here. And then there's a lot of them in there. And then I can just click and drag them to these different sections, okay? Whether we're clicking and dragging or we're clicking on these little arrows here and moving them around, doesn't really matter. It all kind of does the same thing. So I hope this was helpful. Hope this gave you a really good solid foundation in how to get started with Asana, what to look for, and gives you the basics, into getting started and working on it with your team. Please be on the lookout for the advanced Asana where I'll show you how to use automation, custom rules, portfolios, and things like that to get more clarity on the work done within your organization. Thanks for watching.